Morning. Hi guys, this is our third week here in Wuning, China, playing a W15, and unfortunately this is also our last week here, so hopefully let's cross our fingers and hope that we do a little better than we did in the past few weeks. Unfortunately, my draw is a little tough this week. First round, I did have a bye since there are less players this week. There's a lot of players that are not here this week. Because of my ranking, I got a bye in the first round. Now in the second round, I am playing, I believe she's one of a younger player. I've seen her around and I've talked to her. Past 2 weeks, she has made it to main draw. I'm not too sure how far, but nonetheless, that means there's going to be some competition. And then if I beat her in the final round of qualifying, I'm going to play the same girl that I did last week, who's around 700 WTA. So let's hope that I do well tomorrow. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. As always, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on post notifications to be notified every single time I post a video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Morning. After warming up, it actually started to pour. There was a slight delay and then we were moved into the indoor courts. Now the indoor courts were actually super nice. I was a bit worried though because since it's been quite some time since I played indoor, I was scared that the courts would be too fast for me. Once I started warming up on the courts, I was actually really surprised and felt a huge relief. The courts were a lot slower than the ones outside, so I was able to actually feel the ball, see the ball, and I felt like all of my shots were just going in. Starting off the match, like I said, I was matched up with a younger player. She's unranked, but for the past 2 weeks, she's made it into main draw, unlike me. Off the bat, I felt like I was dominating the points. I was moving the ball and opening the court, and she also isn't a very tall player either, so I felt like it was easier to pull her off the court. She's making a few mistakes here and there and missing some executions. Maybe it was the courts or the conditions prior to the match that caused her not to be in much of a rhythm, but either way, I tried not to think about it too much and just focused on each point. As the points went on, I noticed that it was easier to pull her off the court and pull her out of position on the forehand side. It felt like she was constantly reaching, so I did my best to continue doing that. Then at 40:15, let's take the set, the lights went out. I was a bit nervous that it would mess up my flow, but did what I could to stay warm and focused. After about 5 minutes, the lights came back on, and then they shut down. Luckily, we didn't have to wait too long to start playing though, so After taking the first set, I could tell her spirits were a bit down. Once again, I was doing my best to use all of this to my advantage. I did my best to open up the court and dictate the points. After getting quite a lead in the second set, I started to get nervous again. I was getting a bit tight, and because of that, I wasn't swinging through my shots as much as before. I was playing a little bit safer, so I wasn't making her take that extra step. I started making a few more mistakes than before. She started to play more consistent as well. Since my shot placements weren't as good, she was in position more often and able to take control of some of the points. I just needed to hold or break one game, and each time I would be up 30 love, but then I would get nervous and just have to keep fighting back and forth. Eventually, I took the match and won 6-2, 6-4. Okay, guys, so we are back in the room. That was a pretty good match. I almost fumbled it. She started playing better at the end, and then I got a little nervous. So I wasn't hitting through the ball as much, like I wasn't dictating, and then I was going for too many risky shots and not being patient about it. Sorry, my mat is like bothering me right now. Overall, pretty happy with the way I played. Yeah, I was a little hesitant because like indoor I haven't played in a few years. This past 2 weeks I haven't been able to like really feel the ball or like feel like I've been playing my level. But after playing indoor for that match, I was like, wow, like maybe nothing is wrong with me. I was just surprised that I was fast and I could run to the ball. Like I had some good points here and there, and overall really happy with the way I played, and gave myself a little bit more confidence after this match and reassurance. So let's see if we're gonna rest for a little bit, and let's see if we can do it again. I'm just gonna stick with what I did this morning, and we'll see how the second match goes. So I'm gonna stretch down, eat a little bit, and change because it's so humid that I'm like soaked. For the last round of qualifying, I was playing the same girl from last week who is top 800 WTA. As a little refresher, last week I beat her 17-15 in the third set tiebreak. Going into the match, I was pretty confident, especially after this previous match. I told myself to just continue what I did in the prior match and focus on the same things, which is staying consistent and opening up the court. However, in contrast to the previous match, I was not doing so good in the beginning. To be honest, both of us were just making so many mistakes. I was also double faulting way too much. The whole match overall just had so many double faults that I don't even want to tell you guys how many I hit. For For the first set, I don't think we had more than a 4-ball rally, so instead, let's just fast forward and move on to the second set. After I was down in the first set and lost, I knew things had to change. I was making way too many mistakes and I wasn't putting any pressure on my opponent. She was already a consistent player, so I was basically just giving her free points on top of my double faults and missed returns. I told myself to calm down and slow the ball down. Looking back, I should have come up with a game plan that was more centered and tailored around her game and what I already knew of her as a player. I mean, last week I played her, so I should already know her weaknesses, strengths, and her overall game. I was hitting way too hard, which is probably why I was making so many mistakes in the beginning. So that's what I first started to change. She's not a super hard hitter, so there's no point in me really hitting that hard if the ball isn't going in. I slowed it down and focused on trying to find a rhythm at first. I was able to get into longer rallies, and that's when I started to open up the court and build my points out a bit better. At this point, I was playing a lot better and finally felt like I was in the match. For a bit of the second set, I was leading with 1 break. However, I was still making double faults on my serves and missing some returns, which weren't helping with the momentum at all. I would play a few good points, and then the next few would be some mistakes because I just wasn't focused completely on the points. Once again, it was a learning experience throughout this match. I caught some of my mistakes, but unfortunately, I just didn't catch it in time and adjust quick enough in the match. So in the end, I lost 2-6, 4-6. Alrighty, so I'm a little bummed out about this loss, but overall, in the second set, I'm pretty happy with how I played. There was a few mistakes here and there. That's a little too many mistakes here and there, especially my double faults. I definitely think that in the first set, my strings were a bit too loose, and then also in the second set, my strings were too loose, which is why I kept hitting double faults. But that's my fault for not stringing an extra racket last night, so that's my fault for not being extra prepared. Other than that, though, I opened up the court the way I wanted to. I played similar to how I wanted to. And yeah, I was contemplating on going home after these 3 weeks. But now I'm a little bit more confident in my game, especially after playing those indoor courts. So we're going to see what the draw is when it comes out. I don't know if I have doubles this week or not. I did sign with someone. So we'll see if I get in. And then I'm also going to sign for Lucky Loser and see if I can get in that way into the main draw. So cross my fingers, wish me luck. I'm gonna shower because today was so humid that I was just sweating so much. like everything is just soaked. I've never sweat so much. So yeah, I'm gonna clean up and rest. Alrighty, so unfortunately no Lucky Loser and no doubles this week. So that is it for our last week here in Wuning, China. And I have 2 weeks of no tournaments, so I'm actually going to Thailand next to do some training at this academy. So yeah, I'm gonna train for 2 weeks and then we're back to playing some tournaments, so make sure you guys stay tuned for those. Hope you guys have enjoyed these videos so far. I know I haven't been doing super well, but it's just a start. These are the first 3 tournaments of this year, so I still have the rest of the year and a lot of weeks that I can work on and improve on, so I'm trying to stay optimistic about everything. Anyways, as always, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on post notifications to be notified every single time I post a video. Comment down below if you see anything in my game that you think would be good for me to work on, besides maybe serves, because I don't know why I keep double faulting. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Bye bye.
Ceiling fan blowing cold breeze on your body. I can't tell you really what it is, but you